How about that?
That's better. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
This will work. Much good. Good.
I
How
had
about I
it,
open? What's that?
I had it going through the Scarlet from we were recording earlier. So
Okay. Yeah. Just speak up and we should be good to go. I'm going to open the show and I'm going to get right to you both. Okay.
okay, sounds good.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. No Cover TV podcast. That's right. Big Al, your host here. I take the original music, the local and national scene, and I just put it in your face to make sure you see it and hear it. Now, we're doing a remote podcast today. Sometimes we might have a little technical difficulties or sound issues, but we do make it work, ladies and gentlemen, somehow, some way. We've got a great show for you. But you know how to get a hold of me. You can get a hold of me through Facebook, of course. That's No Cover TV. Or you can get a hold of me at NoCoverTV@yahoo.com. Or if you're on Instagram, that is Jeeper616. I'm a Jeeper guy. So it's Jeeper616. Lots of followers. I make a lot of videos about you and your music. So great show today. The Tone Travelers are in the house. We have Bill and Monique in the house. How are you doing?
Great, wonderful.
Thank you.
Great. Make sure when you talk up. I know we're kind of a ways away here.
Okay, how's that? Better?
Yep, that's better. I guess the closer you get, the better we are.
I'm like
Come
a
on
mile
over here,
away
honey.
here.
You get right up on that mic.
Yeah, we're right here now.
We've got a baby behind the scenes here, but he doesn't need to get close. If he wants to be heard, you'll hear.
We're going to talk about Mr. Oliver a little bit here.
Oh, you know his name already.
Oh, I know. Yes, I know a lot. So we have a lot to talk.
Found.
So grab that mic and make sure it's close and let's have some fun. All right.
Sounds good.
What we do best.
Okay. Tone Travelers, you're out in Pennsylvania.
That's true.
North Central Pennsylvania. We're in the Endless Mountains.
You're in yes, North Central. Wow. I was up in the eastern corner there. I was up in the eastern corner of the Poconos.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, small world, small world. So, Tone Travelers, I've been checking you out and I'm mystified. My mouth is wide open and wow. What can I say? Wow. What we got here, let me tell everybody in podcast land before we get into everything. What I feel right here, what I listen to, folks, when I listen to the Tone Travelers here, is we got harmonic, melodic rock, but we throw some jazz with a little classical in there. A slight edge to it, and it's mixed together in such a beautiful way with the vocals Monique puts in there. Unbelievable. And what Bill in the instrumental parts, incredible. So I would say multi-instrumental vocalist songwriters, you are all wrapped up in one very unique and special sound that you have.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, very much. So it's time to talk. 2000, was it 18?
Yeah, when we
About that.
Yeah, when we first started out, we actually started out with a Halloween album, and then
Okay.
from that, it ended up being another full album. After that,
We were working on the Infinite
we were,
album.
we were working
first,
on the full album, and
but we released the Halloween album first because it was kind of like Halloween came up, and I found all this old artwork and poetry that I had written when I was like 13, and I was like, I've always been obsessed with scary music. Let's just throw out a little Halloween just for fun to get
That's,
rolling.
well, that's pretty cool. So now, but did you do something before the Tone Travelers? Both of you?
Oh yeah, yeah, we've been around.
Well, I want to say, Monique, your vocals are very unique. And did you get them trained classically, or did you do this by yourself?
I did. I got them trained at the factory.
Did you? Really?
Yeah, I'm classically trained as a singer and instrumentalist, mainly violin and piano, and then a bunch of other random instruments to fill in. But
Okay.
yeah, I sang in a professional choir. for like 15 years. I was living in Philadelphia and definitely got a lot of technique through that gig and
Okay.
did a
All
lot of
right.
um, different styles.
Yeah, so you've been professionally trained, and you went there because I'm going to go there anyways. We're going to go on a little time capsule with the both of you. Okay. So I get to pick on you first, Monique, because you opened the door.
I
How's
opened
that sound?
it.
Oh, okay, here we go. I'm going to bring it back to when you were a young girl. All right.
All right. So Billy,
All right, let's get back to, oh boy, how young do you go? Well, since you were doing this for a long time, 8 years old. What were you listening to? What did you start listening to at that young age that you started to sing to?
well, probably The Little Mermaid was
Ah,
was one of my first voice teachers, I would say. But even before that, before I could when I could speak, my dad is a classical piano and accordion player, and I would wake up every morning hearing Bach and all kinds of piano repertoire that he was playing on the Yamaha grand piano that I grew up with. Um,
okay,
he would play records. I picked the violin because I remember the moment standing there in the living room and he was playing a classical orchestra record, and I said, "What's that sound?" And it was this the violin section, and my dad told me, "Well, that's the violins," and I said, "I want one." I think I was about 5 at the time.
okay. So you started on a violin. And then when did you really start singing?
Started singing right out of the infant.
Okay, yeah, say it nicely.
I know I used to actually sing along to classical music, and I used to think like, as much of a thought process as a child can have. I remember thinking, why do I know this? Like, why do I know what comes next with classical
Okay.
Baroque music? I would kind of be humming along, and I just like felt like it just always made sense.
Right. Okay. So in music, you found something you enjoyed in your heart and soul, and putting out there. Sounds like you got very talented very quick. Sounds like you just went with it and decided to continue with that.
It definitely runs in it's in my blood too. There's a lot of musicians in my family. Like I said, my dad and my brother, he's a trumpet player, and I have two brothers. So one
Well,
player and one is a singer and piano player, and he
oh,
also
well,
accordion.
yeah. Then you can't help but being in the entertainment business. I would say per se, if your whole family's in it.
Right.
Yeah, well, that is cool. So now we're at today, and we're near the Tone Travelers. You're belting it out, unbelievable. And I'm going to get to the music, but I got to pick on on you for a minute now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your turn.
My turn.
So
Okay.
yeah, I'm not going to bring you back that far. We're going to go to 12. All
Okay.
right. What was your first instrument? What are you listening to?
When my parents sent me to guitar when I was like 5 or 6 years old, and they just wanted to get me out of their hair so they could have some phone time. And I just kind of kept with it. But so 12, okay. My first song that really hit me was Elton John, Philadelphia Freedom, and
Okay.
I had to learn it. I bugged my teacher. My guitar teacher was very not into Elton John, but I bugged him until he eventually broke down and got the sheet music for us, and I learned how to play Philadelphia. That wasn't the first song I learned how to play, but Philadelphia Freedom. And then we moved on to like Smoke on the Water and Freebird and, a few other
Oh,
things.
yeah, the classics.
Yeah, the classics. And that's basically what kept me going. And I had childhood bands we put together and just played in garages and stuff. ever since then, I think like the first band that I had I could actually call a real band was around age 14. So
Okay, very young.
yeah.
Was that a rock band?
Yeah, we definitely were a rock band.
Great. All right, we're jumping ahead now to the Tone Travels. When did Bill and Monique meet?
Well, we met in
2015.
2015.
2015. Okay, now did you both know you had each had this talent?
Oh, yeah. Well, I was running a Pink Floyd tribute band
Okay,
called Think Pink,
think
and
back.
Think Pink, and we needed someone to do Great Gig in the Sky, and we needed someone to do some backups. And violin is always a plus because a lot of the Wall and different albums that they had string sections and stuff on. So Monique just filled the parts there for us. And then we just kept on going, and we started playing like weddings and doing like acoustic guitar and violin. And then we had an electric band. We kept going with that. So we had about 5 projects going at once. And then the pandemic hit.
Yeah, yeah.
So that left us a lot of time to do recording.
Yeah. I mean,
Mhm.
we started writing songs together through like while we were doing all that work, and you know kept trying to.
We were writing songs during that when we were doing the Floyd thing and the cover band thing, but it seemed to only be on Mondays.
Yeah, because we were
Okay.
at all the ends possible.
Yeah, we were like
I was
playing 4 or 5 nights a week,
I was
and
teaching 30 students a week, and I was singing in the choir, doing orchestra work. I was all over the place, and then we were doing stuff together, and Bill was doing his own stuff. So there was very limited time for original music.
but we had these original songs that we kind of makeshift started a bunch on my Tascam, and before you know it, we had started like over 100 of them. They weren't finished, and they weren't really.
I
Yeah,
also had I had a solo album that I had just released, and a bunch of other stuff that I was hoping to continue from that, and it just sort of evolved into what we do
yeah,
together now.
yeah. But what we did was when the pandemic came around, we had all this extra time, so we just started finishing songs, and now we're up
And writing new ones, like
and writing new ones. We're up to about.
Wilderness was directly about the
Yeah,
that time.
Wilderness is about the pandemic. We're up to like 340 some songs right now,
Well, very nice.
and I
Very
mean,
nice.
collectively between her solo album, we have like 53 published songs.
Okay, great. Well, let's tell the people in podcast land, make sure you speak out loud. Where can everybody out there find your music, get a hold of it, and buy it if you have merch or physical copies?
Yeah, anywhere Tone
Uh,
Travelers. I
yeah.
mean, literally, we're on every platform that you could possibly search.
Amazon Music, Apple Music,
Apple, iTunes, all
iTunes,
the different ones. Just
YouTube,
Good.
Spotify.
every. I like to say everything at tonetravelers.com.
ToneTravelers.com.
Oh no,
That's
wait.
where.
Not I.
Yeah, no, I'm just
Oh,
saying we're everything at Tone Travelers.
gotcha. Well, I'm trying to push that .com, I guess.
Like,
Tone Travelers, check them out on the platforms. You know how to spell. I'm on Spotify. I'm looking at some of the songs here. We're going to talk about those in just a second here. Oh, some of these, some of those, and a little of this and a little of that. Now, you got a new single out, I see. How's that going for you? And that is called High Time.
it is called High Time.
Yeah, it's doing pretty good. It looks like a lot of people are commenting, and it seems as though they like it. So
Yeah, that's a great song. I'm liking that myself. Very nice. Um, What do you think? We just talked about the platforms. You've been doing this a while. What do you think about the platforms now being able to get your music out versus 10, 20 years ago trying to get your music out?
Well, 10, 20 years ago, we were trying to sell cassettes.
Right.
Well, I don't know.
Maybe
That would be more like
CDs.
30 or more. But yeah, it's definitely easier to reach a much wider and more diverse audience now than it was because of technology, which everybody wants to tear their hair out, including myself, when it doesn't work. But when it does work, it's pretty great.
I'll agree with you. Back in the day, it was open the trunk, put the posters on the phone, the telephone pole, and pass out those cassettes. And now we get platforms, and we get to put our music out there, and everybody in the world gets to check it out, and that's what's cool.
Right.
And that's what's really cool. So check the Tone Travelers out there. A lot of great music. And you're going to love it when you check it out here. I don't know if we're going to be able to get to any today. Well, I do the follow-up of music show of your music, so they're going to hear you. Oh, don't worry. They're going to hear you all right. So you've been getting some radio play. It sounds like internet radio play a little bit. What we got? Brim's Rock and Roll Show.
Yeah.
How'd that go?
Yeah, Brian's right. He's a great guy, and he seems to be playing our stuff a lot. He's got us in rotation, and he weeded through about 20. He's got about 20 of our songs. Some of it's not exactly rock and roll or country pop, so I guess he kind of weeded through what he liked, and he's rotating about 20 songs, so that's not bad.
That's not bad at all. 20 songs. That's great. Okay, now how about Sparky?
Sparky's all
he's
over
a
us.
riot.
Yeah, he's great. He's funny. We love him. But
And he's got we are kind of part of this network with a bunch of other artists with him. So
mhm,
everybody kind of supports each other. It's very very cool.
yeah,
That's right. That's great. And I love how we're all supporting each other. It's great. And I'm sure out in Pennsylvania, in your town, and across the world in local towns, we're there for each other. Us artists, or us entertainers. Some of us may not get along, but we are there for each other. We all support, no matter what genre you're in.
right.
It's about the music. It's about the music. Global Indies with Marky. How was that?
Yeah, they're great people too. Everybody seems to be really good to us, and they're very responsive to our music. Nobody has anything bad to say about that. So we must be doing something right.
You're doing something right. And yeah, I notice with the music, Monique, who's doing, Monique, are you doing all of the writing as far as the lyrics go? And then you bring it to Bill?
It depends. I mean, a lot of times we'll work it together, or sometimes, like I said, I'll dig up something that I wrote like in another lifetime and kind of revamp it to fit the music. And other times, it sort of happens organically. It just writes itself. And
Okay, okay, all right. Now, Bill, I notice now, Monique, you're vocalist. Bill, we talked on guitar, but there's multi-instrumental parts in your music. Are you playing all of these instruments, or are
But
you collaborating with people here?
I'm mostly, I do vocals. Some of the songs I sing, but she sings a lot of the songs because I'm very into the guitar and the lap steel, or the harmonica, or the bass. So I'm doing a lot of those kind of parts. And then Monique plays everything: mandolin, ukulele, violin, piano, vocals, penny whistle, French horn. I mean, he plays everything, literally.
Wow.
probably like in that order, like from
Yeah.
as far as how good much and how good I play them.
She just added a banjo to the collection, which I was about ready to
Well,
pull my hair out, but
you mentioned Oliver. beginning, but he's the reason I got the banjo. I swear he made me do it when when I was about a month pregnant with him. I was just like, I need to get a banjo. I don't know exactly why, but somebody's telling me I need to get this banjo. Oh, that's the story.
Okay.
He actually
Now,
played the banjo from from my belly.
oh my
I was
goodness.
playing it, and I took my hands off it, and he kicked and made it move. I kid you.
Well, we're going to talk about Oliver now. Is that all right?
Oh yeah, that's
Sure,
all
you can
we
talk
want.
about him.
All we
We're going to cut off. We're going to branch off the road here from Tone Travelers for a second. Mr. Oliver Martin, May 11th, 10:23 a.m.
Yeah.
The stork arrived.
Yep.
Yep, at the stork. The stork bit him. Sent him right to us. Not sure where he came from, but he is.
Oh, he came from heaven.
Yeah,
Yes.
he,
Oh, beautiful.
he is a little angel.
Oh, I see that. I see that now. Was there a Gibson in his hand when he came down? What are
So,
we looking at?
Yeah, he was born with the world's tiniest Gibson. Yeah,
There you go.
came came with him.
I think he had
He
him
came
holding
right
it.
with him. He picked right out. He's got his own classic Gibson, custom made.
Yeah.
So, well, obviously, little Oliver there is, got some really cool parents, and music is going to be a big part of his life.
Oh, for sure. And he's
Absolutely.
already got a set of pipes. Believe us.
I'm sure he
He's
does.
heard he has no trouble making his voice.
There's every instrument you could think of around this house, and I'm sure he's going to have his hands on every single one of them.
Yes. Well, make sure he learns them all. And I always support the young children. We've had youngins on the show. It really amazes me at the age now from 14 on up, how great they are instrumental, vocally, and putting a band together, how great they are. And I wasn't thinking that at that age. I wanted to be a rock star, but it wasn't happening at 14.
I
That's
teach a lot of young kids, and I've led a lot of student rock. They never
Really?
failed to just with me through and through.
Wow. Well, I always, feel that music should be in everybody's life, because, you turn that music on, it calms you down. You want to dance to it, you want to sing to it, makes your heart glow and makes you smile. And that's why you guys are doing what you're doing, and because it makes your heart glow, and you love making other people's hearts glow and smile. Your music is very outstanding and awesome. And everybody, I want you to get to Spotify or whatever platform you use and type in Tone Travelers. Check out their new single. Check that out, High Time. And we'll get to the rest of some of the song in just a second, but we got more to talk about here. Okay, now
So much.
your music here. Now, are we doing this in a studio or are we in house?
both.
Well,
Speaking of
okay.
technology, we can do a lot remotely that,
My
you said 20
right.
years ago
So
you couldn't do it that like we do then, but now with the internet and all the remote recording technology that there is, we can everybody can sit in their home studio and record their parts and then just send it across the world to each other, and we've got a song.
That's amazing, isn't it? That's incredible. I'm still trying to figure this stuff out. Buttons here, buttons there.
some
Why?
some of it was done. So how we were doing it in the early very ages, we were my friend Colbert Studios. He lived in New Jersey. We were fairly close, so we would shoot over there and lay down tracks with him,
And he played bass on a
and
lot of
he played
songs too.
bass on a lot of the songs. Yeah, and then we would do the vocals and stuff like that, and then remotely we could send him guitar or Monique has an electric violin, so we'd plug in, we'd we use Logic, and we just add to our files and send them over to him, and then he would add it to our studio recordings. Uh,
Okay.
yeah, but now we're pretty much doing everything on our own because
It-
we're way far from New Jersey and Philadelphia. So
Yeah, like I said, the endless mountains are pretty much what it sounds like. So sounds
Okay.
about nothing but woods and hills here.
Right, a
Hills.
lot of it. Yes. Now, Bill and Monique, and I know you're recording digitally, but what do you think about analog? You like that at all? Throwing that in there around, touch of that?
Whenever possible.
yeah, whenever
Absolutely.
I recorded analog, I had a record deal back in the late '80s. I played with a band called Martin's Law,
All
and
right.
we did all analog. There was nothing else. There was nothing available at that time, and I love the sound of warm analog. Um, but you know what? With today's simulators and stuff they have, it's pretty hard to tell. I mean, it's pretty hard to define it.
Yeah, but
You
there's
know,
nothing like that vintage sound
I love
anymore.
that vintage sound. Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah. That warm, that tone. Yeah. You can tell.
yeah,
Most of us in the business. But I always like to ask people that, what they like to go from.
seems like a lot
So,
of people are going with, getting back into vinyl. And
oh, yes.
something
Yeah.
we
You
would talk
know,
about for some point. My brother, who's a trumpet player in England, released an album on vinyl recently. His name is Andre Nier.
well, I think that albums are coming back now, and I think CDs are now starting to become like cassettes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
It's a strange. I still have my old records still. They're right here next to the record player. So, but we talked earlier. You said it's like 50 songs or so. How many songs do we have, and how many more do we have coming up?
Like I said, I got another 340 songs or more.
I
Can
mean,
you give me a heart
they're
attack?
finished.
Yeah, we're in editing and mastering mode. So, you know, I,
Wow.
everything that you're hearing is stuff that we had started, maybe 6, 8 months ago, and it's just
4
coming,
years ago.
or years ago. It
It's
depends on
just
which
been
one. We're finishing them off like one by one. Adding vocals and editing and mastering.
and then there's
So
always, we have all those songs, but then as
yeah,
artists
we
and
keep writing new
creators,
ones.
you can't stop writing even when you have, you know,
Like the last song we just put out was called
all
"All
the
the
good.
Good Things," and that was kind of inspired by the baby, and that was
Okay.
just brand new, right off the top. Just we had,
And our cat, you can't forget our other
and
baby.
our cat helped with that too.
Yeah, she wrote the first notes when she was a kid.
Oh no.
I pulled a string across my piano, and the notes that she played were became the chord progression.
That was the chord progression. Wow, the
Yeah,
cat is
Title of the song.
so we had that chord progression, and I mean that was literally it. It was just a string of
For
notes.
the longest time, the working title was Piano because her name is Pie, as in Prince Piewacket, and played piano. she
I like it. That works. That works out great.
I just had that recording sitting around, and it wasn't much of anything. I mean, only one track, and then we just built off of it and finished it off for all the good things.
The words were loosely based on a story that you could find if you did a search for it. That my grandmom used to tell me. It was a story called "All the Good Things," and it's a
Okay.
very rather sad but very heartwarming, inspirational story.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Now,
say
wanted to ask you, Tone Travelers playing out at all?
We haven't played out since we were, the pandemic.
only literally out. Like we'll walk outside and Because but
The pandemic kind of wrecked. The pandemic wrecked all of Think Pink, all of Acoustic Martin, all of Electric Martin, all of Monique's orchestra gigs. Now all that
yeah,
stuff's
for
coming back.
temporarily, it's all happening. But we relocated
Right.
in 2020. Came back to where I grew up here in the mountains, and we kind of just ended up staying here for different reasons.
What
Helping out
we
with the family and everything.
what the future is going to hold more than likely is we're going to tour out as a complete original show.
And Oliver is our band leader and choreographer and manager and promoter.
Right.
Yeah,
One thing I will say, take a Pink Floyd show and all the lights and lasers, and that's what we're going to lay down on top of our show.
I believe it. I believe it. And people, if Tone Travelers, you're out in Pennsylvania, you see them on the marquee. If they've got a Facebook page, Tone Travelers, go follow that and check them out if they're out there, if you can catch them yet. And what I like you doing with a lot of the artists out there, you're putting together the package, you're putting together the base of the tree, and you're working your way up, and you're getting it all together before you branch out.
Yep.
right.
You do it your way.
How
And
you
there's a wrong way of doing it.
Yep, it's grassroots.
There's no shame in it whatsoever.
So now I was talking about, I want to talk about your fans. Looks like you got some pretty cool fans following you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
How are you? How are they receiving you? How's that going? You getting some good comments?
Oh yeah.
So,
That's what I say. Like all the stuff that's on
yeah,
YouTube,
like I said,
anywhere you can comment, everybody's digging it. It depends, Some people, they're not really into the jazzy stuff, or
Mm-hmm.
maybe they're not into country kind of.
there's definitely something for everybody.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's
There's
something for
a
everybody.
lot of variety.
Her background and my background are really extremely different, and we've weaved them together. I like to call it. What was your student
I was
calling it?
just gonna say our song that's called "And Then Some" from the Infinite. I had a student who was about 9 at that time, and we were still working on writing that song, and I played a little bit for him on my phone, and I said, "Hey Charlie, what would you call the genre of this?" Because we were trying to figure out what our genre was, and as we were getting ready to release the music, and he thinks about it for a second. He's like, really, you can see the wheels turning, and he comes out with disco pop rock. One
Wow.
word.
Perfect.
That's
Exactly it.
So
disco pop rock. I
yeah,
like
and
it.
that in mind, listening to the new genre called disco pop rock.
There we go. Wow.
And then,
Music changes and it evolves. That's great. Well, all right. It's time to get to talking about some music here. How about we do that?
Okay.
All right. I see we have a lot of singles. Any full length EPs, anything? Yeah.
I have three full albums.
Yeah.
Three.
Uh,
Three. I wanted to make sure you said that and I didn't get it wrong.
yeah, the first release was the Halloween album, which is called Music for Haunted Houses,
2019.
and that's a shorter album. I think it has 7 tracks on it.
Yeah.
But then next was Infinite, which has 11, I
11.
believe, and it Level Best, which also has 11, or is it
Correct.
12? 11.
11.
Yeah. So those
Okay.
are full length albums.
Yeah, they're full length albums,
All right.
and
Okay.
that was the last full album we did. Was called Level Best, and one of the title track on that is Level Best, obviously, and that was a song that we wrote about
based on a Mark Twain poem called "He Done His Level Best."
Yeah, my mom had given us a Mark Twain book, asked me if I wanted it. It was just
I love Mark Twain,
it
and I
was a
picked up the book, and it just fell open to that page with that poem, and
Wow.
started reading it, and I'm like, I felt like Mark Twain like wanted us to see it, like he was like, make a song out of this, it
and
was
that's
weird.
what we did. We made a song of it.
Songs that just sort of write themselves. I mean, obviously they weren't our original lyrics, but the music just sort of like happened naturally.
Yeah,
We
it was a
barely had
Mark
to.
Twain poem, and we tried to make the music fit.
Yeah,
What would you
with
call that?
like old timey, like
Old
Mark
timey.
Twain's
Yeah.
era is late 1800s, right? So
Mm,
you're thinking old time American music, like Appalachian bluegrass style. So we tried to incorporate a lot of that like twangy, old timey
yeah.
sound.
Well, I like how, every song you change it up in a different way, a little bit, different style. You're adding this, you're taking away a little bit of that, but you make all of them songs full sounding and complete, if you understand what I'm saying. There's no empty spots.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, yeah.
I like that. Now, High Time, number one song right now that you put out
Uh-huh.
right now, and that's going good for you.
It's just starting out, but yeah, it's getting great.
Yeah, starting right out great, great. Now, what? And I might be wrong, but was number two All the Good Thing?
That
Top
that
one.
was just before this. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the day before Oliver was born.
Day
Yep.
before.
We
Oh,
had double. We called it our special double release because May 10th was All the Good Things, and then May
The
11th
11th was Oliver.
was
wow,
All of
that's
the
pretty
Good Things.
cool.
Now
That
there was one right before that. So why we've been doing this is, we're trying to get spread across Spotify and these different platforms, but you can't do it. You can't do it. I could put out we have enough songs right now. We could put out one every day.
yeah,
But we're gonna get flagged if we do that.
Yeah.
yeah,
And
that's true.
and Spotify and Pandora and these different platforms will blacklist you if you do stuff like that. So it works out to be about every 6 weeks.
Okay.
About every 6. So the one just before All the Good Things was called What It Takes, and that's definitely disco pop rock.
Well, yeah,
And
it's kind of like we're going for a little bit more of a dance feel with that song. We have some other songs similar to that in the works too.
Uh, I like that song, What It Takes. That was done in 2022, wasn't it?
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, I like that one a lot. That's pretty cool. And another one you did in 2022, and this one really took me back, was Days Ago.
Speak of
That's
variety,
EDM. That's EDM. And
or something like that,
so
just different.
I have some older sons. I have some other sons besides Oliver. And I said to him, what in your, millennial uh, minds, what is hot right now? What is good? And my 22-year-old said, EDM, Dad, is it? So I'm like,
Oh no.
what the hell is EDM? And it's
Electronic dance music.
electronic dance music. So I play a synth guitar. I use a Roland MIDI, and it does some really crazy stuff. I basically can play keyboard synthesizer on my guitar, and I got a arpeggio type style thing going, and Monique heard it and just was like, "Oh, I could put words to this," and I just let her loose on it. We put the drummer down on it and the bass player, and bam, there you go. Days ago.
Drummer.
That it was incredible. I mean, it was like a cappella, you're in a storyland, and it was just a complete book. It was beautiful,
Well, thank you.
just musically and vocally. Incredible. Incredible.
Thank you.
And there's one other song I'm going to touch on, and then we're going to touch on a couple other things, and we'll probably wrap it up, and then I will do your music show.
Okay.
Another song I want to talk about, and I listened to this, and reggaeton.
Uh-huh.
Ah.
Well,
Reggaeton.
called ragatone because
Reggaeton. Okay, reggaeton.
yeah,
9 minutes and 59 seconds.
that's
All right.
right. It's
Okay, now that you put my wife in a trance and I'm still trying to wake her up. No,
yeah,
I'm just
definitely
kidding.
got a lot of feedback like that. Someone actually
Wow,
said it made their headache go away. So
it's incredible. I was listening to it, and once I got right into it and know it was going to continue on, it just brought me back in the 80s when I was playing, back when we would jam on and never stop. And that was really cool.
Well, it was meant to be like kind of a meditational type of thing.
yeah, with definitely with the influence of Indian raga style music, like think Ravi Shankar. Um, I used to listen to a lot of that and had a little bit of cultural training on violin, like playing the Indian raga scale and did a couple little jams like that. So
And don't forget 38 Zen.
oh yeah, that's coming. If you like ragatone, we've got a song that's more than 3 times as long as that. That's
So
very
so
similar.
one day I turned
Very
the recording
meditational.
station on and I said, "Here, why don't you play something and when I come back I'll add to it. I'm going to go to the store." I said, you remember how to shut it off? You hit the stop button." And Monique says, "Yeah, yeah, I know how to shut it off."
So I
So I
started.
figure she's going to do maybe 3 or 4 minutes, maybe 5 or 6 minutes tops.
You did not figure anything
Well,
out.
I
You
don't
knew
figure
I was
I,
gonna play and
I
not stop until you
not
came
for
back.
38 minutes.
Well, some people run marathons, and then other people like me just sit and play music for the.
38-minute song. There you go.
And Monique put together the base base of a 38-minute song, and
It started. I was just kind of like wheeling through the sounds of. I have a Yamaha keyboard. I was just kind of in jam mode, and I was like, I didn't know all the sounds yet, so I was just like, I'm just gonna play. And I was into this thing where if I held the sustain pedal down, and at
Yeah.
the sound, it would like continue with the maybe
old
the
sound.
sound, but add the next sound, and I like figured out my own way of layering the sounds all together, and just like
Wow.
it just like
Amazing.
totally
So
obsessed.
so to answer your question about ragtime, that's kind of where that came from, also.
Okay. Okay. Well, that was a great song, and it'd be interesting to hear the next. Definitely. Everybody out
Definitely
there in
have
podcast land.
we definitely have more of that sort of meditation instrumental style coming as well. So different genre styles.
Oh, that's
But
great. Well, keep up the different styles and stuff, because that's what grabs the people, all the different audiences out there that are listening, because you're all across the world. People are checking you out.
well, thank
Yes, they are.
Yeah,
So
thank you for your help.
we're, yeah, not a problem. Well, we're at 43 minutes. I got probably a couple more questions and we're going to wrap it up. But first of all, everybody out there, I want to thank you for stopping by No Cover TV Podcast. Today, the Tone Travelers are in the house with Bill and Monique. And great interview. We're having a great interview. Check the music show out where I will play the music, and you will get to hear some fantastic stuff. Incredible music there. And a couple more questions. This one, since you've been doing this a while, you two, any advice since you got Oliver? Any advice for the youngsters coming up that want to do this?
Oh yeah, always. You just got to put your mind to it. You can do anything you want, and that's what I always told. Both of my sons been playing since they were little kids. I even got them a downsized scale guitar, and they're great musicians. I mean, my older son is a great guitar player and singer. My younger son is not only a great guitar player, he's a great drummer, bass player, and piano player. So, and I don't play piano. I don't know where. I can only say YouTube helped him out with that. I really don't know where he got the piano skills, but he's got it all. And I just believe it's from guiding him at a very young age.
And if you have a dream and a vision, don't let anybody try to talk you out of it. Because if you can see it, then you can make it
Yeah,
happen.
yeah. I think you nailed it on the head, Monique. Dreams do come true.
They
Yes,
do.
they do.
There's,
They do. If you want it bad enough, you can make it happen. I
he's
always
sitting
say,
right behind us. Name is
and
Oliver.
I'm sure you're going to make them practice.
That's
That's
right.
right.
That's right.
Exactly. So I appreciate both of you stopping in No Cover TV today. I wish you were at the table, but we had to do it remotely. I
Well, we
appreciate you
appreciate
stopping
you.
at the table.
We are
Thank
at the table. We're just,
you. Yeah, you're at
A
the table.
different.
That's right. You are
different
at the table.
physical table, but we're right here with you.
There's a little Oliver right there, too. Yes, he is. So
Awesome.
this is your show. On the last note, you get to wrap it up. Who you want to thank? You got to shout out to anybody? What do you got to say? This is your show.
Oh, I just want to thank everybody who's playing our songs. And every time you play one of our songs, you're putting a little piece of a penny in the Oliver's piggy bank. So keep on playing them songs. Keep on playing Tone Travelers, and find us on every platform there is, and your favorite platform, and follow us and like us,
Thank
and
you for believing in us.
yeah, thank you for coming along on this amazing journey that we're on.
Awesome, Bill. Thank you so much. And
Thanks for
thank you,
helping.
everybody, for listening. Check out the previous shows. Check out this show. And then the shows to come. We've got shows from all over the world, in the country, and in the course of my local town of West Michigan, and all over. So it's about the local, original, national, and local music scene. Always will be. Turn the radio down a little bit, take your ear and put it out the window. You're probably going to hear some great music, because there's some great music on every block. Wouldn't you agree?
We do.
Absolutely.
There's some great music out there, great music. And the Totem Travelers are proof of that. So get to the platforms, people. Get it downloaded, follow them, check it out, because I'm telling you to. So please check them out. Please check them out and support. Get merchandise, digital downloads, whatever you can do. Tone Travelers, Bill, Monique, and little Oliver, thank you for your time so much today. And I am going to keep my eye on you, and I'm going to have you back on the show.
Oh,
Awesome.
cool. Thanks,
Okay.
Big Al. You rock.
Thank you so much.
You guys rock too. I'll talk to you soon, all right?
Talk to you soon,
All right.
buddy.
All right, take care. We're out here, everybody. Take care.
Take
You
care.
take care too.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.